Millions of Americans own a personal computer. If you're one of them, you can now glimpse the future with nothing more than a modem, a phone line, and a few dollars a month. With the A and then the ring around it?
At.
Katie said she thought it was about.
Just what is this main artery of the information superhighway?
It will replace the yellow pages as we know it today.
I'm now waiting for the computer to answer me.
Well, it's very hip to be on the internet right now.
What is internet anyway?
Things are starting to happen.
Things are starting to happen.
How do we get better leads? It starts with lead generation.
Welcome to the Market Like Emma podcast, where your friendly team of geeks at Extra Mile Marketing are helping modern marketers become 2020 ready before it's too late. What does 2020 ready mean? It means thinking 2 steps ahead of the status quo, defining new best practices in digital marketing, severing ties with the tried and not so true anymore, and adapting to rapidly changing customer preferences and expectations. In the office today, we have Lisa Redburg, our project manager extraordinaire. Lisa is an expert at technology marketing and has years of experience in the business-to-business space. Lisa, how are you?
I'm well, thank you.
Good to hear. So you recently wrote a blog on the top 4 lead generation tactics that B2B companies can use to fill their sales pipelines. In the article, you mentioned your own experience purchasing a phone system for the EMM office. Like many B2B sales, you were tasked with this decision even though you aren't necessarily the foremost expert on phone systems. Do you think you succeeded?
I think we were able to purchase a great phone system that does everything we need it to do. But I worry that there is a better option out there that we weren't able to find.
Why is that?
Because the customer journey for every company we interacted with was broken. So in the end, we had to rely on word of mouth to find the service we ended up with.
What frustrated you about the buying process?
It boils down to these companies not providing enough information that would lead us to the right product. They all use different terminology to set themselves apart, but it really only ended up confusing the issue. The information they did provide was written in their own techno jargon, and we had to translate it to talk amongst our team. And basically, they didn't successfully bridge the gap between the discover stage and the purchase stage of the customer journey.
So what specific improvements would you recommend for one of these companies to improve their customer journey?
The real gap was in content marketing. Because we work in B2B marketing, I have pretty high expectations of what I'm looking for. I expected a simple video on their landing page to quickly break down the services they offered and, who the services would be right for. There was no video. I expected an infographic to explain the cost advantage of their service, which I could share with my boss and other colleagues. There was no infographic. I expected an ebook. The title could be the top 5 things to consider when purchasing phones for a small business. There was no ebook. If just one of these companies had done more to set me up for success, we would be working with them instead of where we ended up.
So for a long time, the B2B space has been seen as completely different than selling to consumers. Has that changed at all?
I would say B2B sales are very different than B2C sales. And the biggest difference is the time factor. A company's not going to make a $5,000, $10,000, $50,000 decision until they've done a lot of research, and that takes time. But that also provides an advantage to us as B2B marketers. It gives us time to run a nurture email campaign or to retarget prospects on social media channels. What has become similar between B2B and B2C sales is the customer experience and the customer expectations. That's where companies can learn from our counterparts in B2C on how to build better experiences for customers, and that'll set you up to be better off in the years to come.
So this year is all about ditching outdated best practices and adapting to the new status quo that will govern marketing in the 2020s. In our recently published ebook, we outline 9 categories where modern marketers need to update their strategies and tactics. Where would you say lead generation fits in among these categories?
I say at the beginning. We started this series with lead generation for a reason, and it's because every marketing activity ultimately has one purpose: to fill the sales pipeline, to generate sales. Whether it's your website or SEO or social media, whatever marketing tactic you choose, our job is to generate qualified leads for your sales team. If your marketing strategy doesn't have lead generation as the number one goal, then something's gone wrong.
Thanks, Lisa. You can find our exclusive ebook for modern B2B marketers at extramilemarketing.com/2020-ready. Stay tuned for the next episode of Market Like Emma, where we'll talk to our digital marketing pro, Abby Vansel, about how to create a 2020-ready website. Until then, I'm Jesse Webb, and this has been Market Like Emma.